Hello everyone, this is Tim, and today's video is going to be about a situation that happens from time to time, especially if you go to a gaming club. At gaming clubs, you show up and there's different time slots throughout the day. And same thing like a convention. Other gaming clubs do it a little bit more in a loose fashion. But let's say that you're a player and you show up at your appointed time, you have your books, your dice, your pencils, all that. You're all ready to go. And you're staring at your other players, and there's an empty seat at the table. The GM isn't there. You wait around for about a half an hour. GM's still not there. Obviously, the GM's not coming. So what on earth can you do? You kind of need the GM to do things, unless you're running more of a story game, where there's more narrative control in the player's side of things. So what do? The GM canceled or didn't show up at all. In these sorts of situations, it's good to have player prep, which is a different sort of term that I don't think I've ever heard before, where as a player, you bring an adventure with pre-generated characters or a story game that doesn't need a GM, needs less prep, something that you can do at the table in that situation. Maybe you're playing at a gaming store and you have an appointed time every week, and 1 week for some reason the GM doesn't show up. Maybe they have a flat tire or an emergency came up, medical situation, whatever the case may be, and you want to be able to do something in that appointed time other than sit there, twiddle your thumbs, or, all right, guys, I guess I'm going home. So other things you can bring are Magic the Gathering, collectible card games. Can't really bring a movie per se to like a game store or a gaming club, but you could do that if you're playing at someone's house. Maybe you are the host of your game is at one of the players' houses. So if the GM doesn't show up, you're at the player's house. So maybe you can watch a movie, play a board game. I would suggest bringing like a bag or something, some sort of extra gaming material or extra entertainment material that you can do with other people. That way that you're set up just in case things don't work out the way they're supposed to. I know I've done this in the past where I'm a player and I can also be a GM. I run a lot of games. So it's not a hard thing for me to improv an entire session. Yes, sometimes it's harder than, just going right in with no prep, but after so many years of doing it, I don't have too much of a hard time. Sometimes the story isn't all that great, especially if the players aren't proactive. And I find that an improv-style GM needs proactive players, or at least the story's better if there are proactive players, because the GM tends to be reactive to what the players do. It's less about plot and more about NPCs and reacting to how things go, NPC goals, that sort of thing. So as a player, bring a bag, maybe have a bag in your car, a just-in-case bag in case things fall through. Card games, board games, something that you can do with other people. Maybe you even have some sort of, like maybe like a laptop or something where you can play a hot seat game where everyone takes turns. You pass the laptop around, play a game. I don't know. All these new fancy, tablets and all the games that you can play on them. I'm sure there's a lot of stuff that I have no idea about. It's another thing that I've noticed lately is that in the comments of my videos, maybe this is just me getting old, there's a lot of references to things that I've never heard of before. And I just wanted to thank you guys for enlightening me about various things. I'll have various questions for people. Like, what does that mean? What is that in reference to? I've never heard that before. So I appreciate that. So if in the comments below, or if you want to do a video response, what do you suggest players bring to a game just in case the GM doesn't show up? This is also another instance of how communication is very important to running a social game, a role-playing game. GMs need to be in contact with their players. Players need to be in contact with their GM. If you're not going to be able to show up, please do so ahead of time if you can. Obviously, there's things that you can't do that, like if you get in a car wreck. But it would be a great idea to have all your players' phone numbers, have your GM's phone number in your cell phone, just in case things don't work out the way you want to. For those out there that are just trying to get GMs or just trying to get groups together, just remember that communication is very important. being able to contact them in various ways, email, Facebook, social networking, all that stuff. The more information you have, the more ways you have to contact them, the better. I think, especially if you're playing a game at someone's house or someone else's house, it's good to just ask them, hey, is this week still okay? Because sometimes players will show up and, you'll have the significant other there, folded arms and, giving you the scowl, like, what the hell are you doing here? We made plans, So there's been situations that have been kind of comical in the past where sometimes the GM just forgets. You show up at the GM's house and he's not there. So you wait around for half an hour and then you're staring at all the players. You don't know what to do. So you take off. But there are situations where you can just make it a fun night. Maybe not necessarily a role-playing night, but you can do things to entertain each other, get to know each other as people, and have fun. So, like I said, if you have any suggestions, you can put them in the comments below or do a video response. This is what you think up when the GM doesn't show up, the GM cancels. Thanks.